Shall we begin? Let's begin.
Let's get this thing in the water.
Let's begin.
Hello and welcome to On the Patio with Mr. D. Hey, with all this coronavirus stuff going on and the stay-at-home orders, you can't do anything, you can't go nowhere, you can't do nothing. It's driving me crazy. So I wanted to put together a video for you guys, for your entertainment and informationally on the Osmo Pocket Essentials. Now, I've had my Osmo Pocket for, let me see, 14, 15, this is the 15th month. When it first came out, my sister got it for me for Christmas, and since then, it has evolved. They put in a lot of firmware updates, which corrected a lot of problems that they had with the camera itself. And then, of course, I'm adding more stuff. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is I'm going to show you how my little Osmo Pocket has evolved. And it has evolved in all kinds of different ways. One, I'm going to show you the way that I mount it on the kayak and the equipment that I use for the kayak. Number two is if you're going to walk and you want to be totally hands-free and not have a selfie stick, but still get the footage you want while you're walking around and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to show you that setup. I'm going to show you the Z-axis system that I've used. I did a review on that a little bit earlier. I'm going to talk about FREEWELL ND filters and CPLs. I'm also going to talk about a lens. It's a wide angle lens from FREEWELL. It's not here yet, but I am going to do a review on that when it gets here. So I'm going to talk briefly about that and some of the must-have essentials that you're going to have because there are some problems. One of my dongles, the original that was with the DJI, it broke. So I found a third-party supplier that actually supplies them. I will list in the description all of these accessories that I purchased for the Osmo Pocket. Now, are they a must-have? No, they're absolutely not. You can go around with this all day long just like it is and get some pretty good footage. But if you want to get some really cinematic shots, you want to level everything out, you want hands-free, all these kind of stuff like that, I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff I've done, and then you decide which way you want to go. So, hey, we're going to get started with this, so we'll be back in a bit. All right, so what we're going to do now, guys, is just go through this inventory of stuff that I have, and I'm just going to briefly touch on each one and what they are. This is a standard GoPro extension rod, a gimbal lock, that's from PGY Tech, the thumb adapter, a side clamp. These are lightning dongles, but I recommend that you have extras. This is the Wi-Fi adapter right here. This is a Wi-Fi adapter mount, so you can mount it to a 1/4-20 tripod, because if you notice back here, there is no 1/4-20 mount. This is from Polar Pro. This is a basically a cage. I don't use it much. It kind of is, I wouldn't recommend you purchasing this at all. So I'm going to take this out of the inventory. You also want to pick up a real nice Osmo Pocket mount and cell phone holder. Now, I went through several different ones that just did not work. I found this one, and I will put the description down below, but I like this because it's magnetic. They give you extra O-rings here, and it really holds well. When you click that in there, it isn't going anywhere. You're not going to pull that out, so you don't have to worry about your Osmo Pocket separating. Now, I don't recommend that you use these dongles into your cell phone without some kind of holder. It puts a lot of stress on it, and that's what I found out when mine broke. So I always recommend that you have a couple of those handy. Standard GoPro 1/4-20 mount is something you want to have. Now, real important, I think, for all successful cinematic video is the FREEWELL set of ND filters, the 8, 16, 32, and Their polarizing filter is the same thing. And now they've come out, like I said earlier, with a wide angle lens. It's on order now, so when I do get it, I will be doing a review on that. The next thing I want to talk about is the STARTRC Z-axis stabilizer. Now this is really, really cool. And I have a video out on this already, but I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can use this, especially when you're walking, and be totally hands-free. The next item I want to touch on is the pull mount cell phone adapter. This is really, really cool, and I'll explain that also a little bit later. This here is a shoulder mount for if you have a backpack or a camera bag or something. You can mount this with your camera on it and be totally 100% hands-free. A standard screw-on tripod is pretty much a must. This is part of my kayak setup. And then I use the Fugetek FT568 monopod, and then I screw this on the bottom, and it really extends out well. I think it's 52 inches or something like that. It also has a Bluetooth remote, which really works well if I just want to take some stills using my cell phone. And one of the things I found out, if you use this Z-axis stabilizer, it has a 1/4-20 in the back, but if you're wanting to do any cell phone shots or anything like that, when it's in the clamp, it will block the lens, so that makes this pretty much worthless. And if you're doing selfie work and it turns around, you turn your Osmo Pocket around, the Osmo Pocket lens or camera will pick up the back of your cell phone. So that's why this was brought on board. Okay, and I kept this one until last. You're going to need some kind of a power bank out there. You can have a small wafer one where you can attach it and plug it in the bottom of your Osmo Pocket. I chose to pick up the Osmo Pocket case. And what I like about this has a power system in here. You charge this up and it will charge your Osmo Pocket while it's in the case. It also has areas for your dongles. You set it in there like that. And I have 2 of them, so I'm going to take this and put both of them right here. And what's so cool about all of this, it also has 2 spots for, and I use the 8 and the 16. I can take that. It's magnetic. You can see it just popped right in there like that. And the 16, the 8 and the 16 is the ones I use mostly. These are magnetized down here. So you just take your filter and just drop it in there and it'll drop right into place for you. And it also has 2 slots for some micro SD cards right here. And then when you want to store it, you have to have this free, your dongle not mounted, because it's going to charge on the connect points right here. It's going to charge, and that's what it connects to. And you slide that in here like this. Slide it in like that. Push up the little latch. And close it. Now watch this. It's charging the Osmo Pocket while it's in its case. You get about, I think it's 3 charges out of this, 2 or 3 charges out of this. I just keep this charged up, so when I'm out on my kayak or something like that, and I get done with the day, I put this in here. I know when I get back to the house or something like that, this thing's going to be all charged and ready to go. So this is a really, really cool option. To open it, it has a little lever right here. You just hit it and open it goes. Undo the latch, pull your camera out, grab the dongle that you're going to be using that day, slide it into place, and you're all set to shoot, and everything's ready to go. That's pretty much the inventory of what I use. Hey guys, what we're going to do now is talk a little bit about some of the DJI accessories that I think are essential. And one I think is the most essential is the Wi-Fi adapter. To make this thing operate, you have to remove the cell phone adapter, reverse it, or put the spacer back in, whichever one you want. Then you'll see the red light come on. Now it's ready to operate and connect to your cell phone. It's a really cool option. Only drawback is, as you can see, there is no quarter 20 mount here. Now you can plug in a C connector item here for your power bank if that's what you have, or an external mic. You have to put that fancy adapter in there and all that kind of stuff. But if that's what you want to do, you can do that with this. One thing I recommend strongly here, guys, is to pick up the, I think it's called the ULANZI Wi-Fi mount system. And this is really cool. What this does, it gives you the opportunity to mount a quarter 20 on it and give you a good stable base. You just slide it over your Wi-Fi adapter like that. Here you can see that you're operational, and you still have the ability to get your C-mount connector set up right here. So as you can see right here, it sets you up very stable. You don't have any problems. This is one that I use quite a bit, and I use the Wi-Fi a lot, and I'll show you why here in just a couple minutes. So here's the setup here with the Wi-Fi adapter on, and this is using the ULANZI Wi-Fi slide adapter, which gives you quarter 20 capability. To me, that's a must-have, guys. If you're going to do any Wi-Fi shooting, it gives you a more stable base too. You can set this out on a wall or anything like that and get some selfie work or family stuff. Just set it out, but set it up on a tripod. Really works well. You can set it there and you can do all kinds of cool stuff that the Osmo Pocket does. Now I'm going to remove this. This is how I keep it. With this slid inside the ULANZI adapter, and that way when I'm ready to go, I can just put it in there and everything's good to go. Now, the next thing, I'm going to pull out the dongle, we're going to talk about is the thumb adapter system. You just slide it into place here. It just slides in. Turn your camera on. And here you can operate the gimbal up, down, whatever you want to do. You have to switch it, hit this switch right here to go left and right, which is kind of weird. You hit that button, it'll flip it around, as you can see, and this is where it's setting up your tilt custom, FPV. It's toggling through the modes, so you can set it up wherever you want it to go. I use follow a lot. And then of course your standard operating buttons right here. But I don't use it very often. I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't use it very often. Well, hey guys, what I want to talk about now is the STUNTMAN backpack or sling bag strap mount system. I use this if I'm going to a theme park or anything like that. As you can see here, it mounts up. They have ball mounts set up. You have two different mounting systems here. You have a standard quarter 20, and then they supply you with another ball mount that is set up for a GoPro mount. So you can use either or. So what we're going to do real quick here is I'm going to show you, first of all, this thing adjusts. As you can see here, you just loosen that up, get the ball where you want it, lock it into place, then power up your Osmo Pocket, as you can see here. And when you're ready to record, you're good to go. I'm going to do a quick walkabout around the pool. What's so cool about this system right here is my hands are totally hands-free, and the Osmo Pocket 3-axis gimbal camera is doing its thing. I found out that the Z-axis stabilizer, because of the mounting of where it is so oversensitive that it makes way more bobbles, so I wouldn't recommend using the Z-axis stabilizer on this particular mount system. This works really great on the STUNTMAN system for a backpack or for a sling bag or whatever, but it's great for theme parks and picnics and stuff where you need to have your hands free, but you still want to get the shot. Think about fishing out there. You could set this up, set it off to the side like this. I'm going to lower this here and set this off. And as you're fishing, it could actually pick up your catch. You can adjust this. I use it with the Wi-Fi mounted on the bottom. That way I can adjust the gimbal left, right, up, or down from my kayak, but I'm still going to get the action from paddling or whatever I'm doing. Now, you fishermen out there, this would be a great addition. Just strap it to the side of your backpack or your PFD or whatever the case may be, and you can have live fishing right there, and they can see what's going on out there and see your catch and all the fight and stuff, but your hands are totally free. Cool way to go. So, hey, on to the next one. We'll see you in a bit. What I want to talk about now is the one setup that I use all the time on my kayak now. This is really the way I do it. I use a pole mount adapter, cell phone adapter from UBEESIZE right here. This is really cool. I can adjust the cell phone up, down, all that kind of stuff. Now, the problem was is if I put the cell phone mount that they supplied with this particular mount and I went into selfie mode, it would pick up the back of the phone in the shot. So that wasn't a good thing. So hence, this is why I went with the UBEESIZE pole mount system. Really works well. The Z-axis stabilizer is fabulous out there on the water. When I'm hitting wake, I can actually see the boat doing this, and it knocks all that out, keeps the plane really flat. So that's really cool. This is that setup. Again, I use a Monopod, and it's a Fugetek. I think it's FZ568. I think I said it earlier in the video. The UBEESIZE phone pole mount for your cell phone. Of course, the STARTRC. This is my setup for the kayak. To me, this is essential. I have the Wi-Fi adapter here. I'll put on, depending on the day, I'll put on either a ND16 FREEWELL filter if it's cloudy out, and if it's bright sun, I'll use the ND8. It really, really works well for me out there. So I'm going to wrap all this stuff up now, guys. So, hey, we'll be back in a minute. Well, hey, guys, we're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to just do a recap of all the stuff that we talked about today. One of the things I failed to mention on the STARTRC Z-axis stabilizer is it also acts as a case. This is really cool. You put your PGY gimbal lock on this, and you have yourself a case. So if you're going from point A to point B, you can just slide this in here, as you can see what I'm doing right here. Lock it into place. Put it over the little hole thing right there, and you're all set. And it's all locked in place. The Wi-Fi adapter from DJI, to me, is an absolute must-have, because you want to get, you're going to be in times when you're going to be not with a lot of people, but you want to get the shot that you want and all that kind of stuff, and you want to operate it from the Mimo app, and you want to be away from the camera. So this really works well, but without the ULANZI Wi-Fi adapter with the quarter 20 on the bottom, this doesn't have the quarter 20, so that's a bad thing. So this is a good addition. It just slides in here like you see right here. Boom, done. You got a good base mount. You can still get your Wi-Fi stuff, mount this to a bottom of a tripod, you're all good to go. The other thing we quickly talked about was the shoulder mount system for a sling bag or backpack. I've used that. I shot when I did a shoot out at Gatorland. I used the Osmo pocket mounted to this system right here, and it's all kinds of adjustable. You can get it to where it'll adjust around like that. It's on a ball mount system, and just set it up and then do your shoot. The FREEWELL lens filters are an absolute must. I use the ND8 for very bright days, and I use the 16 or 32 for cloudy days. Now, what's so cool about them also is I also have the adjustable ND CPL system right here. So if I want to take out glare and stuff like that, I can do that system. And again, I've also got the FREEWELL wide angle lens. That's the new one that's just came out here recently, and they're really hard to come by. Anyway, they're sending me that, and I'll do a review on that. On the Osmo Pocket charging bank case, I didn't think I wanted to get this because of just its price. That was the only reason. But I did it, and I'm really glad I did. I think you can get 2.5 charges out of this. I'm not 100% sure, but I have the two most common FREEWELL lens filters are right here. I have the standard dongle plus an extra dongle here. You can put in 2 more micro USB cards right here, and I love the way it works. I mean, it's just cool. Let me take it out of here real quick. Now, again, you have to have the dongle removed because the charging port is where the dongle goes. And you just slide this thing in here, and I really like this system. Just slide it in, push until it gets seated in there like that. Take the little latch, and then watch the light come on. Now it's charging my unit no matter where I am. I throw it in the truck, it's going to do its thing. If I'm going to a different location, that time I went from location A to location B, it's getting some charging back into the Osmo Pocket. So that's really cool. Again, I think it'll charge 2.5 times. I keep this recharged every week. I'll plug it in and do my thing. And that kind of wraps it up for the necessities that we talked about. I talked about the Star Z-axis stabilizer, the Fugetek, and it's a FT568, which goes up, I think, 52 inches. The PERGEAR attachable tripod legs, these are all metal, and that's why I picked those. The UBEESIZE pole mount cell adapter, cell phone mount adapter, which allows me to adjust the cell phone from where I'm sitting at. If I'm in the kayak or something like that, I can set it and do whatever I want to do. But those are really the necessity items. Of course, this particular cell phone mount clamp holder for the Osmo Pocket, this is the best one that I have found. Again, I went through several of these. They were horrible. This is the one I settled on. I used it for an entire season at Paddling Places, Florida, and never had a problem. The cool thing is if you want to get a shot and you have it mounted on your kayak, but you don't want to have to unhook all this stuff, you just pull. And your Osmo Pocket's in your hand, you get the shot you're looking for, and then line it back up with the holes. It clicks back into place with these very powerful magnets, and you're good to go. This one, I think, is an absolute necessity for the Osmo Pocket. So we're going to get out of here, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. Again, I'll be producing another video on the FREEWELL wide angle lens for the Osmo Pocket when it gets in. I was hoping it would be in for this particular one, but again, with all this, you know, stay-at-home orders throughout the United States, I got to have things to do. It's driving me crazy out here. I can't go kayaking, I can't go anywhere. So I figured I'd give you some information on what I use with my Osmo Pocket. What's good, what's bad, what's ugly, whatever. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and hey, we'll see you on the next one.